What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? Go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and I hope you like this video. This is Chasing LA Season 2, Episode 3. We're going to get caught up. We pick up where we left off. We are still at Friendsgiving. Rock has just shown up, and of course, nobody knows who the hell Rock is because he's new to the show. He was supposed to come with Jayla, but Jayla didn't come, so he came anyway. So she was the plus one of the plus one. He was the plus one. And of course, Nicole was like, how the hell is the plus one of the plus one going to show up without the plus one? This is crazy. Never heard of this before, but girl, you look good, so you can come on in. So because Rock looked good, I feel like, or at least she felt like he looked good, I felt like he got a pass. And so he came on in, and they were sitting there just getting to know each other, you know, talking about who's who and what's what. Because of course, nobody knows who Rock is. So he's introducing himself to the group, you know, and so he said that he had, you know, met up with King Payne, and of course that immediately got a response from Andre and King Fly. And you know, of course, Nicole was like, what's the tea? Like, the minute he said King Payne, there was a reaction at the table. What do I need to know? Give me the tea. And they were like, oh, nothing, you know, it's nothing. But they ended up having the conversation about the whole LLC situation. And Andre's thing was, listen, just tell me how you feel about the LLC situation. Like, do you think it was messed up? Like, how you felt? And her, she was like, listen, if I'm being honest, I didn't like it. Like, I didn't like it. I thought it was real messed up that they did that. You know, and Andre said, do you feel like I did anything to warrant that? Like, yeah, we were all shady. We were all doing what we were doing. But do you think I did anything to warrant them going that deep? And she was like, in my opinion, no. I mean, I can't tell somebody else how to feel. But in my opinion, I really didn't feel like that. He said, and that's kind of why I sort of separated myself from the group. Because that whole situation just didn't really sit well with me. What I find interesting is this. I understand that y'all made up with Jayla and y'all are in a better place with Jayla. But I find it very interesting that you still hold so much animosity towards King Payne and you've totally forgiven Jayla. Now, maybe it's because y'all had the conversation and she was sincere in saying, listen, it happened, I did it, but let's move forward, let's move past it. I don't know. But I give, you know, there it is. Nicole was flirting with Rock, child. She was flirting with her Rock. I don't know if they're going to hook up or not. I think they would make a cute couple, though. Child. So then we see Jeremy in the studio with William the Baddest. He's talking about how he's not a culture vulture. So this is what I'm going to say about William the Baddest feeling like he's not a culture vulture. I'm going to need him to understand what that means first before he says that he's not one. Because his explanation of what a culture vulture was isn't what a definition of the culture vulture is. So I'm going to need you to know what it means before you say you're not one. Anyway, child. We see Andre and Ian touching base after the Friendsgiving situation. And we see them call Jayla, and Jayla saying how she, you know, she didn't come to the event because she was spending Thanksgiving with her family, that her and her family are starting to get into a good space, and she's spending Thanksgiving with her family, and that's kind of where she was with that. I just feel like, I mean, I know it's only been 4 episodes, but I just feel like for as much as we've seen Jayla, she should be a friend of. I mean, unless she amps it up later on in the season, at this point, girl, you a friend of. And that's no disrespect to you, Jayla. I'm glad that you came back, girl. But if you ain't going to be there for the events and you ain't going to film, you just going to be on the phone. You just going to be a voice on the phone, girl. You a friend of. Okay, you are not a main cast. But again, we only in episode 4. I mean, I know I'm reviewing episode 3, but I've looked at episode 4, okay? So I'm just telling you, she ain't in episode 4 either, okay? Spoiler alert. Moving on. Then we see an event that Nicole had down at her salon for Christmas. It's a charity event. She's giving to some families, Christmas to some families. I thought it was a really cool event to include. I thought it was a cool event for her to have. But the only castmate that showed up to support it was Rock, which I thought that was kind of messed up. I can't speak for other people's time. I don't know where everybody was. I don't know why nobody else showed up. But I feel like that was a little messed up. That the only person that showed up was the other new cast member. But they had a good conversation. Of course, they flirted a little bit. You know, they did a little flirty this and a little flirty that. Um, Nicole brought up the fact that King Fly was not following the dress code for the party. And at this point, girl, I'ma just say, can you let it go? Like, you still mad? You still mad that that man wore a green sweatshirt instead of an earth tone? I don't. Excuse me. I'm just not understanding why you so stuck on the fact that this man was out of dress. I don't know. Moving on. Then we got to see a battle. King Fly Eye. We got to see a rap battle between him and another rapper. It was cool to see. Last year I feel like because of who King Fly is. We see the flamboyance, we see the high pitched voice. I think hearing that he's a battle rapper, and the reality is he is a very respected battle rapper. Like we found out last year, people try to throw a little shade, and it was on social media. Like, no, dude, really, he out here, he's really respected in these streets. And I thought it was cool to see. Um, I thought it was cool for us to be able to see it for a couple of reasons. One, I think it's cool for us to see battle. A lot of people don't know what battle rap really looks like. We see the movies or we see what a produced version of it is, and we don't see it in its rawest form of what battle rap is. So that's number one. Number two, I think it was cool because you got to see that even with his flamboyance, even with the high pitched voice, that this is what he does, and you saw the other rapper kind of use that against him. Like, that's all part of it. And like he said, listen, you got to have a thick skin to do this. Like, jabs are going to be thrown in both directions, and you just got to have thick skin. Like, they're going to throw the jab and you throw it back. I mean, he made fun of her for, a lot of her, things, flaws and all or whatever. So that was cool to see. Shout out to King Fly Eye. That was cool to see. Then we find out that Andre is hosting an event. He's going to be styling, hosting, working with production, child. He doing a little bit of everything, and it's down in San Diego. So he invited a lot of the people from the show to come down. Nicole went, Poetic went, Rock went, and then King Fly I wasn't able to make it the night of the event, but he came the next day to have brunch with the crew because it was the same night of his rap battle event. So again, it was cool to see Andre in a work scene. I feel like in the 3 episodes that we've had, Andre's had a work scene in all 3 episodes. So you better do that, Andre, out here working and hustling and stuff, child. And the event looked nice. It was with a female rapper. I forget her name, but I knew the song. I had heard that song before. When she went up there to perform, I was like, okay, I know this song. I don't remember it now, but I knew the song. And Andre was working. He was on stage. He was hosting. His face was up on the marquee and everything, honey. He was doing his thing. So shouts out to you, Andre. Everybody seemed like they had a good time. Of course, Nicole was there being shady. Child, at this point, Nicole just shady. She just shady. Nicole is just shady, child. She was being shady about the fact that everybody was late and she was in her hair and makeup ready to rock and roll. Although that's not being shady. That would have pissed me off. Y'all know how I feel about my time. Y'all know how I feel about people respecting my time. She said that she had been waiting over an hour for these people now. I'm going to take that back, Nicole. On that one, that's not you being shady. That's just them being disrespectful. But I feel like, because you always so shady, it's just easy for me to just throw you in that with the shady pile, child. But everybody looked like they had a good time. So the next day we had brunch. They all went out for brunch, and King Fly Eye shows up. And again, Nicole brings up the fact that this man was out of protocol when he came to her party. And I'm just like, why are we still talking about this man's sweatshirt? Like, what are you really mad about, Nicole? Like, okay, he had a good time. Y'all seemed like y'all was getting along. Y'all was cool and laughing and stuff. What you really mad about, girl? Because at this point, it's giving very obsessed. Okay. Anyway. even wrote that in my notes. It says, still worried about outfit. Because, girl, why are you still worried about this man outfit? Then we see Hershey and Jeremy. Jeremy went to go see Hershey perform down to her club, one of her clubs, and they decided they're going to have an event because of what happened last year. You know, some of the people aren't here from last year. We got new people. So they decided that they're going to have an event called Just Like We Met, or Like We Never Met, or something like that, child. Where they basically are going to do like this whole, remember that first scene down to the Hamburger Mary situation? Oh, was it Hamburger Mary's? Is that what it's called? Anyway, that first meeting that they had, that, you know, everybody was being shady and all of that. They want to sort of redo that, but do it so that with the new people and the old people, we can kind of put the bygones behind us and leave the old stuff last season, and let's start fresh and let's move forward. And they said they're going to do the question game again like they did the last time, and they're just going to try to recreate it, but with the new people and blending with the old people, and, you know, kind of keep it cute. So we see it's going to be at Jeremy's new apartment. Y'all going to get Jeremy put out that apartment, because I just feel like there was a noise complaint that night. Or a couple. But we're going to do it down at Jeremy's apartment, you know. And, you know, the episode leaves off with people showing up. With the people showing up. And I think the last person they showing up is King Payne, child. Now, King Fly Eye and Andre are already there. So it's going to already be a situation. So that's where the episode picks up, honey. Okay? All right. Now let's get into this episode 4. Peace.